Indiana and Kentucky were both impacted by the anti-saloon legislation at the turn of the century. When the Moore Amendment was passed in 1905, it severely crippled the liquor industry, and the Wathen distillery suddenly found itself with a broken chain of sales and distribution. More than 2,500 Indiana saloons were closed between 1900 and 1910. Distribution quickly shifted from the distilleries to organized crime, igniting a war between the government and the mob. As the battle against liquor advanced, distribution became extremely more difficult. The transfer of liquor was very dangerous, especially during Al Capone's reign in Chicago. Federal agents arrested drivers hauling liquor to investigate the source of their supplier, and many paths of distribution led back to the Wathen distilleries. The Wathen family quickly found themselves at the center of a criminal investigation. Otto H. Wathen began producing and distributing liquor under a medicinal license, making his liquor distillery one of the few that survived Prohibition. By producing liquor under a medicinal license, Wathen was able to continue production of liquor and distribute for a brief time under the radar of the Prohibition officers. In 1919, when many distilleries were closing, Wathen's distillery had $750,000 worth of whiskey, making it one of the largest operating distilleries in the nation. With the passing of the Volstead Act in 1919, however, it became even more difficult to operate outside of the government's watchful eye. The federal government was seizing liquor by the truckloads and opening investigations on a massive scale in an attempt to stop the supply of whiskey to the mob. A Chicago indictment named Wathen in an illicit whiskey ring, bringing the government investigation to Louisville in southern Indiana. Wathen had illegally removed 8,000 gallons of whiskey, labeled for medicinal use only, and distributed the liquor for drinking to the Chicago mob. Nabelkamp, the secretary of the Wathen distilleries, took the fall, which lifted the charges against Otto's father, R.E. Wathen. But that was not the end of the federal investigation. Shortly after his father narrowly escaped conviction, Otto H. Wathen was indicted by a federal grand jury in Chicago. Suddenly, the Wathen distilleries was under siege by the federal government.